We are back with session 3 tonight on a Monday. My guest in this session is Johnathan Simmons, also known as DJ Whoopie. Johnathan, good evening.
What's up, my man? How are you this evening?
I am doing great.
Good.
I'm glad to have you on tonight. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while when we got it all set up because we just haven't had a chance to sit down and just talk shop.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. I remember doing the summer session a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That lineup was huge, and it's growing. And now this live thing, it's really just growing. And, man, y'all are doing good work over there.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And we've got people watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, and then later this week, people watch. It's just, and again, thank you guys for watching. This is, because of you, are why we do these things. It's our way of kind of giving back to the industry. And by you guys watching and giving us feedback and such is awesome.
I agree.
Good stuff. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, by the way, we can't follow the chat for asking questions as well on Facebook Live just because it's tougher to bounce back and forth. In the description is the link to the YouTube, which is where I'll be watching more of the chat. So if you guys are there, bounce over there. So, Johnathan, we wanted to talk about basically giving some tips because we got a lot of people who are just, they wanting to get into the mobile DJ industry and such.
Right.
And let's kind of talk about some things that they need to be doing, to kind of get themselves into the business and kind of some starting tips.
Okay, so I don't know if you have a list of things you want to run through.
I basically, when someone's going to come up to you and say, DJ,
how do you get started?
Hey, man, I want to get started. I love music, and I've got this, back. I'm going to age myself. Back in the day, I had this CD collection, and I want to go on. Now it's not that way.
So the first thing I would tell any person looking to get into this, before you go out and before you start spending your hard-earned money, see if you can't job shadow somebody. I know job shadowing kind of sounds, it sounds a little ridiculous because 9 times out of 10, they're mostly grown adults that want to get into it. And they don't, it hurts their pride a little bit to go follow somebody and see what they do. But before you spend any money, I would highly recommend job shadowing somebody because you might get a job that way. That's going to be the easiest way to get in the business is working alongside another company. It's going to be the easiest, probably the fastest, and most definitely going to be the cheapest because you can probably use their inventory that they have on hand while you build your own collection. So I would suggest that to anybody looking to start out. Find a good, local, reputable entertainment company. Don't go searching Craigslist. Not saying that there's not good DJs on Craigslist because believe me, I used to be that guy. But find somebody that's got some clout in the market that really knows what they're doing. Because when you're learning, you want to be taught right. You don't want to be taught the bad ways first and then have to go back and learn the good ways. You want to be taught how to do it first. Correctly, right. So I would recommend that first before you step foot into buying stuff.
So when you're talking about shadowing someone or going with them and such, are you kind of envisioning maybe going as a roadie and helping them move some gear in that aspect, or how would they be at the event?
Yeah, that's how I started off. Following somebody else along, just tagging along, helping them set up. Learning, the process of setting things up and just watching, not touching anything, probably the first couple of times while you're out, just being a fly on the wall, observing what they do, how they interact with the clients, whether it's a wedding or if it's a corporate event, how they interact with the guests and things of that nature. And then from there, once you start to get a little bit more comfortable, maybe the person that you're shadowing, Mike Walter, I look up to the guy. I purchased his DVD, Keys to a Great Performance. After you start learning these things, maybe the main guy that you're following along, maybe he can get out in the crowd and do a little bit more MC work, and that can leave you to start learning how to spin the music and learning some good crowd control and good programming. That would be the next stage of the learning experience.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you can work with someone at a Mike Walter level.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
If you can find a company like that, oh my goodness. I wish I had that starting out. And those companies are few and far between, believe me. Finding somebody that runs an operation like Mike, it's hard to find. They are out there, but you got to look. You got to look.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that's great advice. Now let's take it now. So if our person, they've gone out and they've done some shadowing and they've done some things, but they really had their heart set on starting their own company, would you recommend that they try to work with that other company for a period of time, or can they kind of start off and have a level of success right away?
You can. I would recommend, never eat lunch alone. That's a Joe Bunn quote. You've got to network with these companies to get some business, because 9 times out of 10, if you just say, "Hey, I'm a DJ," you're not going to get any business that way. You've got to work with some of the other companies. Maybe they can toss you some stuff that maybe they're busy or they're on vacation. That might be some of the first gigs you can take. And knowing and working with these other companies, they know your skill set. They know that you can handle a job. They're not afraid to throw you out there, I guess, to the wolves, because they'll know you perform well. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna stick my neck out for a company or a DJ that I know isn't going to get the job done. So network with the other people, let them know your skill set. Give them something to chew on, and maybe they can toss you a bone.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of those things that if you can do a good job for them, they're going to definitely be interested in throwing it, because if they can keep a client satisfied,
exactly,
is the biggest part of this whole process.
Because just like I'm a single op myself, and I've got a couple of guys that I work with here locally. There might be a weekend I want to take off, or my wife wants to go do something. If I can toss that gig to another guy that can handle the job, I feel comfortable doing so. But I'm not going to do it for somebody that's not up to par.
How did you develop the relationship with those other guys that you're working with now? Did they start out? Was it basically kind of competitors and you guys got to know each other, or how did that start?
Really. Here in Arkansas, we've got a great group of guys that are doing it right. And really, about 2 years ago, we all just kind of sat down, talked shop, and noticed that some of the guys that were stepping in, they weren't doing it the right way. And we're not for shunning people. We want to build them up and get the best product out there, because at the end of the day, we're not all doing the same thing, but we're kind of all doing the same thing. So let's get some uniformity to it. Let's get some presentation to it, and that's just kind of how we've all worked together.
Nice. So you guys have been able to have a positive influence on your local industry, then, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That sounds great. Whoopi, let's take a little bit of a break here, and then let's come back and let's kind of talk about, because the guys, or maybe then they're thinking, well, what should I do for gear? And let's kind of talk a little bit about, what are some of the first steps when it comes to gear, because we've got our summer 2016 sponsors here, gang. Let's take a look.
Hits USA from RPM. Our name says it all. Get the latest hits while they're the hottest. With Top Hits USA, you'll have the track for sure. Visit tophitsusa.com or call 800-521-2537 and get a free demo.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
All right, we're back for the last part of our talk here about getting started with DJ Whoopig. Johnathan, now I wanted to talk about, the guys are wanting to get into the gear side of it. Now, most
Okay.
likely they probably have a computer that they've already purchased, and
Right.
maybe they've gotten a controller of some sort, or they've been
Right.
playing. What would be the steps you'd recommend for investing in gear?
Investing in gear, first and foremost, you need insurance before you make a purchase, because if that purchase fails or gets stolen, or you want to be covered. So invest in insurance first, and then once we start talking about gear, there's lots of great options out there for gear. Whether you're just looking to get something small, I started it building on used equipment, and then going and being able to purchase new equipment, which is great if you can find decent used gear at a decent price. I would recommend going that way, and just testing the waters with it while you kind of get the gigs and build up your cash flow fund. But if you want to dive in and get something brand spanking new, there's a lot of great companies out there that offer finance plans. I deal a lot with NLFX Pro. They've got an excellent finance thing they can set up for you guys. That's what I would recommend. But the one thing you don't want to do is don't just buy gear based on cost. That is a huge mistake that I made when I first started out. In fact, if you go to my YouTube channel and look way, way, way back, I'm hyping up some speakers that are absolute garbage, and I'm probably going to take that video down because they're just not good. And I wouldn't recommend them to anybody, so I don't know why I still have that video up. But there's a lot of great options. Electro Voice has the ZLX series it's the best-selling speaker on the market, and it's not that expensive, guys.
Not a bit.
Especially with the finance options available, you can get some really great gear for a low price or really low monthly payments. That's the one thing that you're going to have to do starting out. You're going to have to sink some money in and invest in yourself. But don't just think of it as going out and spending money. You're investing in your company, in your brand, making sure you have quality, products that aren't going to fail on you at a gig is something that you want to think about when you're buying this stuff. Don't buy the cheapest. Cheapest, sometimes it's good. Most of the times it's not, and it's cheap for a reason. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, for sure, that it is. You mentioned insurance. Now, you were talking about, of course, the insurance on the gear also, but there's also the side of the insurance about liability insurance, which isn't there to protect your gear as much, but basically to protect your home.
Yeah, to protect your butt, really. And through the ADJA, there's a lot of great insurance options out there. Before you do a gig, period, you need to have insurance. Anything can happen. I've been sued. I've been blessed not to be sued on my DJ side, but I've been sued before. It's not fun, especially when it's your fault. So anything can happen. I know a lot of guys have scrims on their speaker poles, and those things attract children. It's crazy. If a toddler comes over and, Lord forbid, pushes that speaker over, it falls on him, it hurts that child. You will be out of pocket for a while.
Yeah.
And I hate to wish that on anybody, but small things like that can happen to the most experienced DJ or the novice DJ,
Yep.
which is why you need insurance.
Yeah, you need to be prepared and protecting yourself, because you're protecting basically your home,
your home and
life.
your livelihood. Really, it can bankrupt a multi-million-dollar company if they don't have insurance.
Yeah. Now, we talked a little bit about, you were talking audio systems when you were talking gear. Let's talk about first the importance of lighting. Can a person start off and go without lighting for a period of time, or how would you handle that?
You can. Lighting is something that I didn't get into really until the past 3 or 4 years. Whenever somebody needed uplighting, I always offered it, but I always just rented it from another company here locally. I didn't feel like it was worth the money where I was at the time to invest in. But lighting makes a huge difference. It creates a mood in the room. Whether it's uplighting or effect lighting, moving heads and different things. You don't have to have lighting, you really don't, but lighting adds. It does add to the ambiance, really. One thing that I always go out with in my most basic DJ package that I offer, I always send out an American DJ Dots T-Par system. Great little light. It does a lot. It doesn't throw out the ugly dots onto the bride's dress. It adds just color to the room, which is all you really want, creating a mood.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's that. You mentioned that there's many companies that have different systems like that.
Different systems. Yeah, there's American DJ and Chauvet and Blizzard. Everybody has. Just do your research.
Yeah, find one that's going to fit your needs and such. And
Right.
and they have little nuances with controllability. There's little things that are little. I don't want to call them quirks, but there's little nuances within them.
Right. They're getting now to where, you don't have to run everything by DMX. A lot of the companies now are doing things where you can run it off your smartphone. They all have the foot controllers, the IR remotes. If I'm sending a guy out to do just a basic setup with a dot system or any kind of, a TPAR system, they're not running DMX for that. They're using a foot switch or a remote control. You don't have to. So I feel like some people make it too complicated. Really. If you're just getting started out, there's no reason why you should be focusing on running DMX and trying to program a dance floor and trying to be the MC. Take some of that load where you don't have to bear it. And use a foot controller and different, like you said, different quirks that the lighting companies have to make it easier on the DJ.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move over. We've gotten we've gotten a little knowledge from shadowing. We've gotten our sound system, a little bit of a light show of some sort. Now we want to go out there and try to get our name out there. What's going to be beyond, our first connection would have gotten us hopefully a little exposure, but now we want to try to take that step up. Where are we going to start?
Here's the really honest truth. You will not succeed in this business unless you advertise some sort of way. I've joined on Wedding Wire and different paid for advertising sites. They're all great. The biggest bang for the buck that I've gotten a good return on is advertising on Facebook. From the age of 18 to my mom, who's in her late 50s now, she's on Facebook. Yeah. And the bang for the buck with Facebook advertising, you just really can't beat it. It's the cheapest way of and the metrics of it that you can target specific people. It's a good way to just spend $20 a month and see what happens, and just go from there. I've gotten great results off of it. Of course, my results may not work in different areas of whatever the world you live in. But I've gotten good results out of it, and that's the first step I tell people. Just because it's so cheap, essentially $20 can get you a month-long ad on Facebook, and you really can't beat that anywhere else.
Yeah, for sure. And you're able to, as you said, target, which is such an incredible thing. I mean, if we knew that we could go and put something in front of the brides in our area, all that. We'd have been so excited back, 15 years ago.
And it's so cheap because if you go to a bridal show here in Arkansas, our bridal shows are considered cheap, and to get a premium good sized booth, it's going to run you between $1,300 to $1,800.
Yeah.
And at bridal shows, I like bridal shows, but they're hit or miss. You're cattle calling a whole bunch of people, that you don't really get that personal interaction with. Doing the Facebook ads puts it out there for people to view at their own leisure. There's no pressure behind it. And if they want to contact you, they will. Make sure you have your information out.
Yeah. And just to give an old guy perspective on this, back when we were doing Yellow Page advertising, we had to be in 3 different phone books to cover our area, which wasn't a big area. And those were $50, between $40 and $50 a month and those weren't big ads. They were probably 4 lines. And they were successful. But you think about that. That was $150 a month. If I would take that $150 a month and put that towards Facebook right now target it would be killer. You'd be getting that as long as you had a compelling ad and you did a nice job with the ad.
And that's the thing, with advertising, whether you're doing pictures or video, I feel like sometimes as a DJ community, we complain because we don't seek out, people don't seek out the professionals. Whatever your advertising budget is, make sure you're seeking out a professional to do your graphic work, to do your video work, because at the end of the day, I'm a really good DJ. I'm an okay video guy. I'm an okay graphic designer guy. If I'm spending the money on advertising, I should let a professional take a look at it and put the best possible, product out there for somebody to view.
Oh, for sure. Good advice. Very, very good advice. Continuing education. There's a lot of different things out there. You've already mentioned a few things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the resources for someone who wants to learn more than what they learn from, watching your videos and my videos on YouTube. I mean, there's a few of us, Brian Brad and Arnaldo and Jonathan, DJ Tutor, a lot of great information out there for free. But to step it up now and want to go beyond that, what would you recommend?
Oh my goodness! Continuing education. You stole an idea from me from my next YouTube video. You have, it's just like anything else. If you still have a day job or you're looking to get a better job, that job is always going to have some kind of training for you to better yourself or better your craft. Let's see here. The two big ones I really like. I'm a big fan of Mike Walter. Performance Keys, huge. I would recommend that to anybody, especially if you're a little shy or if you're just getting into it. He gives you a lot of great nuggets, in that video to really set you up for success on gigging on your own. So I would recommend his DVD. Joe Bunn, excellent marketing guy. I look up to him as well. If you're trying, just like we were just talking about with advertising, if you're trying to grow your brand and get your brand out there, Joe Bunn is the way to go. Sales, Mitch Taylor, awesome sales guy. I bought his book. A lot of great information. You have to invest in yourself, in your company. You just won't make it unless you continue to just keep investing. It's one of those things that a lot of things aren't going to be free, but if you're serious about it, it's well worth the money.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a really big important lesson I think we've all had to learn is you get to the point, it's like, okay, if I want to take this to a step.
Another level.
I'm going to have to invest, not only in my marketing, not only in my tools, but I'm also going to have to invest in my personal
yourself.
Tools. Myself,
right.
Yep.
Another great one, Arnaldo, you have him on all the time, Master School Dances. I bought that one, and it really, if you're wanting to get into a specific niche market with the school dances, you can't go without buying his stuff. So another plug for Arnaldo.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff out there. And you guys can find that information. You just go search djmikewalter.com. I think it's djjoebunn.com.
joebunn.com.
Yeah, and Arnaldo's masterschooldances.com. Yeah, you guys can find the links for those things.
Oh, yeah.
We got a few more minutes here before we wrap things up. Let's talk a little bit about the importance of practicing our mixes and practicing the things behind the scenes that were, the announcements and different things. Because sometimes the guys just don't think that. They're like, oh, all I have to do is, push play and I don't have to practice.
You have to practice. Anything that's worth doing requires practicing to get it good. Until you're, and really, I wouldn't even say that. You have to, it's a continuing education all the time. There's always going to be new music that rolls out there that you're not going to have the cue points and things set up for it. You've got to, take a listen to the music and see where it fits within your style of mixing. You don't want to be practicing on the gig. On the gig is not the place to do it. You need to be practicing in your bedroom, and then really taking those skills to the gig itself. You're not going to learn, there's so much going on at an event. You're not going to find those golden nuggets within the mixes at a gig. It's not the place to do it.
Yep.
At home should be, you have to. I spend on average, now that I'm good at what I do, I'm not going to lie. Now that I've honed my craft, I still spend, 3 to 4 hours a week just siphoning through music and finding different ways to mix things. And, being a wedding DJ, I know this as well as you do. There's a lot of different formats. What I like to do is every night before I go to bed, I'll do a 30-minute mini mix, and I'll try to pick out a different genre every night. Monday will be a country night. Tuesday will be a rock night. Wednesday will be a hip hop night. There'll be an EDM night. For schools, EDM is getting really popular.
Yeah.
So you need to have those skills available to mix that music.
Yeah, for sure. You've got to, and that's one of the things when we first started out, we didn't worry about that because it was something that we were either, if you started out, somebody mentioned cassette tapes earlier. I think that was Ian. You weren't worried about mixing then.
Right.
It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But now that you get to a little more advanced.
Yeah, mixing, it's not necessary. If you're a great dance floor programmer, you know what to play next. But mixing just takes it to another level. As a DJ, it's something every DJ should know how to do.
Yeah, for sure. Jonathan, if people like to get a hold of you, what is the best way for them to get in touch?
The best way to get in touch, follow my YouTube channel. It is DJ Woo Pig, pretty self-explanatory. From there, you can find all of my social media posts, such as Instagram. If you want to find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff, search DJ Woo Pig. It's pretty unique, and I guarantee you I'm the only one that's got it. So that's how you find me.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you for being on tonight. I think we'll have to see about having you come back here this fall. We're getting that scheduled ready. But yeah, a great time. Boy, our time went fast tonight.
Awesome. John, let's do it again soon, buddy.
All right. Thank you very much. Gang, we'll be headed on to our next show in just a few minutes. The link should be down in the description below. We'll see you in about 3 or 4 minutes. Thanks much.